So today we are going to have a discussion about how to write a very simple results section in a research report. Now, in one of the previous videos, I uploaded how to write a basic research proposal. So I'm not going to go through the introduction and the literature review and the method section. Of course, I emphasized them minimally. So I will of course later upload much more advanced videos on all of those. But for now, today I am going to just focus on how to write a results section, and also that too using the APA method. Now, on the left side, you would see my Word document. So this is what I am going to use, to show you how to write a basic results section. And on the right side, you would see another Word document. I did a bit of analysis using one of my data sets, utilizing R package. So that is that. And okay, so let's first see. Now, if you have a research paper that is already written, first you need to have a basic introduction section where you would be introducing the problem, and also then you come up with a hypothesis, and to support that you have method section where you explain how exactly the study needs to be conducted, like how exactly the study is designed, what's the sample, and then again what's the procedure that is involved, how exactly data is going to be analyzed, any tools that you may have used, and then ethical considerations. Now, after all of that is done, the next section that we need to discuss is the results section. Now, there are some basic things that you would need to include. Now, of course, based on the particular program that you are in and your level of study, this result section would vary. So, this lecture is not intended to any master or PhD students. This lecture is intended to first year undergraduate students. So, if you are very new to research, this would be an excellent video to understand what needs to be included in a results section. So here I have written results right in the middle, and I am going to include a few basic things. The first thing is I need to have a section where I explain some basic descriptive statistics. And then I need to have a basic section explaining some of the normality testing I have done. You might not need to have a separate section for normality testing, but just to improve the readability of my report, I'm going to have a section for normality testing as well, and also a section for inferential statistics. Now, here my study is about finding a correlation between self-efficacy and GAT7, or general anxiety disorder. So I'm going to just write my hypothesis here. Now, this is not the exact way of writing hypothesis. You don't need to write it as a running head, but I'm just showing it here so that you would know why exactly I'm doing this results section. Okay, so I am saying self you can get seven, let's say, demonstrate a statistically significant relationship. So this is exactly what I want to do in my study. Now, this is the results section, and here I am going to demonstrate how exactly I have met this particular requirement. Now, let's think about this. In the results section, I told now you need to have some descriptive statistics. So what am I going to include in this descriptive statistics under this particular section? Now here I can give some basics about my sample. For example, I have here 59 individuals, of which 27 are male, 32 are female, and I have some information about their age as well. And I here have done a calculation, but I think this calculation is wrong. It says age is 6, can't be 6. But let's hypothetically think the average age of males in this study is 22.21, and female age is maybe 21.31 or something like this. So there is no total here, so I'm going to just leave this blank. Or maybe I can put the average of the total sample. Let's say once again, let's say 22 or something like that. Just hypothetically, I haven't done this calculation, but just hypothetically think that this is something. Now, Okay, here's the now here we have some basic information. Now, the thing about doing a results section is you need to format this according to APA standards. Whenever you put a table, your table has to have a proper numbering system. Now, here I have mentioned table 1. Now, this entire document is double spaced. Make sure you do that as well. The entire document has to be Times New Roman as well. However, this table 1, I have bolded this. That is the APA format, so you have to bold this, and then you have to give a label for your table. Now this is my label, demographic characteristics of the sample, and this label has to be in italics. Now we have to format this table according to APA. So if you click on this table, you would see this uh, small thing where you can click and move this table around. So please right click on this and then go to borders and shading. Once you go there, you can select which borders you need to keep. Now all column borders, please remove them, and also the row borders in between other than the first and the second, so first and the last, so please remove those as well. Now it will look something like this. So this is not 100% APA. This will become APA once I put this particular line again as well. Okay. Now this is exactly how an APA formatted table would look like. The columns have labels, so the line just above these labels and the line that comes immediately after these labels, you need to keep them. But every other line that demonstrates that this is a row and this is a second row and so on, those things you had to take out, and you had to keep the last line here, and all column dividers you had to take them out as well. So this is how an APA formatted table would look like. Now here I have presented gender and age of males and females in my study. Now I have some other descriptive information as well. Now, when you do this analysis on SPSS will give you so much of statistics. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you need to directly copy and paste all of those and include all the necessary things. Remember, in your research paper, in results section, you would still be narrating a specific story. And that story is about how you are going to show that this hypothesis is actually, you are going to show that it is working. This is my hypothesis. Yes, it is true. So then this story is about that. So don't include every little thing, you just include whatever that you think is the most important. Now here, I think these are pretty important for me. Now here, I have a figure once again. So the same format I have here, let's say figure 1, I have bolded it, study sample represented by the year of study. Now in this study, I have roughly about 40 plus first year students, about 10 second year students, and less than 10 third year students. Here, immediately after the figure, I have put a small note. You can actually do this in APA format as well. So this note followed by a small period, I have put them in italics, and then I have written in normal writing format. Further analysis on this is available in Appendix 1. So your research papers could have an appendix, and if you have any additional ones, you may include them in your appendix. Usually we put notes if we have different measurement styles and things like that. For example, if I have combined studies in participants of two different studies, I could maybe include that here stating individuals of two different studies are combined for this analysis, something like that. It could be any note that you would want your reader to know. Okay, now here I have another table, my table 2, mean scores for general self-efficacy and general anxiety. Now let's find out those mean values here in the right. Okay, so general self-efficacy, we have a mean of 29.11864 with a standard deviation of 3.6100735. Now let's check the same for anxiety as well. Anxiety has a score of 7.525424. with a standard deviation of 3.612029. Now, okay. One other thing, I'm going to just center these guys, okay, like this. I'm going to do the same for this one as well. I'm going to just center them. And of course, make sure to go through APA styling guide, the 7th edition as well, so that you can make sure that whatever the system that you're following is 100% correct, because I may have missed some of the styling conventions. Okay, oops, that's wrong. Okay, give me a second. Okay, like this. Okay, so I'm going to remove these guys and I'm going to add this line here. Boom. Okay, like this. Okay, now here I think I have some credible information to write a descriptive analysis. Now here's the thing. You can't just present these findings, okay? You have to narrate this. So let's see how exactly we are going to narrate. So let me demonstrate this to you. Okay. Now let's say, okay, not in bold. Let's say like this. The present study consists of 59 individuals, or if not, you can have any other as well, any other particular style of writing as well. For example, you could say the present quantitative inquiry considered a randomly selected sample of 59 undergraduate 59 undergraduate students from McGregor University of Technology. Now you can of course write your university's name, but I'm going to just use the what do you call fake name here. And then you could say uh, majority of the participants were female and roughly all participants were young first year undergraduates. See, now the objective of writing this kind of a narration is not to write everything that you have in the table. But the reason why we do this is to give an indication what exactly the reader could find. So, for example, here we have basic information, but using this, I have further given some information. Okay, look, the majority is female, and then roughly everyone is pretty young. And if you want, you could actually say the real age as well. That is also something that you can do. And some people actually write the mean age is this with a standard deviation of this and this. That also you can do. But since you guys are in first year, I think something like this is pretty much okay. We don't need to dig too deep into this right now. So here the objective is to understand how to write a basic results section. So that's the most important thing. So we'll just focus on that for now, okay? And then I'm going to write again a bit of narration here. The sample mostly had, let's say the sample mostly had. Now, of course, when since I'm just typing it right now, there could be some inaccuracies in my language use. So, of course, this is just generating a draft, but then after that, you can further fine tune this and more content. If not, you could say the sample had, okay, no, not like that. Let's say uh, the sample, although underwent simple random sampling, the setting utilized in the study have yielded a rather homogeneous group of participants. So homogeneous means pretty similar to each other. This is evident as most students represent first year of study, while less than 15 students are from year 2, or let's say from second and third year of study. And then you could say this the following trend, or this particular trend, is demonstrated in the figure 1 drawn, or let's say illustrated below. See, now this is nice. Here you have this as well. So I'm going to just pick this up a little. Okay, see, now I have some good descriptive statistics here. And then now you have to just analyze this data a little bit. Now see here, self-efficacy 29 is pretty average. Now we earlier did a study where the average of Sri Lanka was about 30, 31. So this is slightly lower than that. But then I think, I don't remember the exact cutoff points of GAT7 scale, but I think 7.5 means a little bit of anxiety. So okay, let's just pretend, or let's just think that this is a little bit of anxiety. So now let's write about that as well. Let's narrate these findings. Further, descriptive analysis revealed a mean efficacy score of, now this is how we are going to write, n idle x 29.11, and then standard deviation 3.61 for the entire sample, with further descriptive analysis revealed a mean efficacy score of so and so for the entire sample, and oh sorry, not here, not 10, this has to be m, mean. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for the other one as well, for anxiety. I'm going to just write it, these ones, how much is that, 7.52, and here 3 point, okay, this is also 6.1, I'm going to make it 6.120, this one is 6.107. Now okay, now here's the thing. Now just to make it a little bit more identifiable, I'm going to just write it as self-efficacy like this, and then standard deviation once again, self-efficacy like this, and then here I'm going to write again mean let's say ANX, or let's say general anxiety disorder, no, let's say GAD. I'm going to do the same for this as well, just to make sure that people can identify. Okay, or maybe like this. Okay, now see, here's the thing. Now if you use SPSS, you can further analyze these values based on gender. If you do that, you can remove this table and include that gender-wise uh, findings in the table, since you already have written it here. Now, if you have already written it here, maybe, I mean, no need to have this. Let me remove this as well, because it's just repetitive. We don't need to repeat things. Okay, now let's write to proceed with the hypothesis testing. The researchers decided to check normality of the two variables of the, let's say, GSES and GAD variables. Now, of course, here I am using these acronyms because this is under the impression that we already have written the introduction section, and in the introduction we already have identified these acronyms. Okay, that's why I wrote it like this. If not, you would have to, of course, write them the first time you use it. Now here I'm going to include normality testing. So you can test normality with multiple methods. Now, one is this. You can, of course, generate histograms. If you generate a histogram, you can copy and paste it here and then follow the same figure formatting style. Now, but the thing is, a results section usually has to be slightly concise as well. Now, mostly for undergraduate students, we don't give too much of space to write all of this. So the entire report could be maybe 1500 2000 reports, so 2000 words. So if you have an introduction section, some methods, and a small discussion and all of that, you can't make a massive results section. So your results has to be concise. So what you can do is you can write about, you can either give this visual images and then describe what you see here. Now this pretty much looks like, now this general self-efficacy, this looks very normally distributed to me. And if you check general anxiety, now this of course looks skewed. Now what I did was I actually ran this I ran Shapiro-Wilk, and using this I'm going to just narrate the findings a bit. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. To test the hypothesis of the present study, first, normality of both variables were tested as per the findings of displayed in table 3. Now this becomes table 2. Why? Because I have only two tables. As per the findings of table 2, the variable anxiety is not normally distributed, or you could, if not say, it violates the principle of normal distribution or violates normality. So any of those is fine. Okay, so then that is something like this. Now I'm going to again format this here. Okay, like this. Since one of the variables is not normally distributed, or we could say it's not normal, or we could say since one of the variables violates normality, the researchers decided to proceed with Spearman correlation to test the hypothesis identified, like this. And with that, we can proceed to inferential statistics. So I'm going to write, as per the correlational analysis conducted, okay, so this is my R output. Here we have negative 0.44, that's our correlation. As per the correlation analysis conducted, general self-efficacy and general anxiety are, you could say, inverse related or negatively correlated. And then I'm going to just write it like this. Here S has to be written like this, RS italics negative 0.4441, and then I'm going to find the effect size of this one as well. So effect size is R squared. Let me quickly make that calculation as well. So 0.4441 into 0.4441, that is equal to 0.19. So let's multiply that by 100. So that is 19.7. So I'm going to write that as well, R squared 19.7. Squared, like this. So just to make sure, see, every time you do this, I think what you can do is you can go ahead and always, so I'll actually put, the one without, okay, let's say 0.19722, like this. So when you actually do this, what you can do is you can always check. Now this results writing is also something you have to do according to APA guidelines. For every statistical analysis, there's an appropriate format of reporting your results, and you have to follow that. So here I have just followed this. And now if you can develop a scatter plot with the best fit line, you may include that also here. Just like what we have done with other figures, you can actually include that also here. Now you could say, based on this finding, each variable roughly explains 19% of variance of the other. So the coefficient of determination means the degree to which a variable explains the variance of the other variable. So based on this finding, each variable roughly explains 19% of variance of the other. And then you could say, accordingly, hypothesis 1 is accepted. Now see, this is exactly what a basic results section would look like. So you can have an appendix further if you want to have an appendix. So you don't actually need to have an appendix here, but I just included this here so that you would know how exactly you need to report a figure. So please read up on that, how to report a figure. I'm not going to go through it today here. But this is a very simple results section. See, you need to have three things: some descriptive information, a little bit of normality testing, and inferential statistics. Now, this is for absolute beginners. If you have never done a results section earlier, if you are totally new to understand research papers, this is for you, so that you would know how exactly this needs to be done. And this is our first attempt. So first attempt, of course, we can make mistakes, that's okay, but the most important thing is trying. Now this is me just coming up with the draft as well, and if you notice, there could be errors in this one even for me, and that's perfectly all right, because this is our first attempt. and we can slowly improve this. Now once you do this first, now the next thing that you need to do is check whether your grammar and everything is correct. Now even if I am a lecturer, since English is my not my first language, of course, so I might make errors as well, and sometimes I may have missed writing certain things also. So it's very important that you go ahead and do like a proper proofreading. And this is not a fully fledged results section. You can of course include more descriptive information. Descriptive information gets us to understand more about the nature of the data that we have. What are the trends that we can see in this data? So you can include those ones. Now these are of course not correct information. These are just hypothetical stuff. So I just color them in red color. But then see, you can pretty much understand how to generate this entire section, how to have some descriptive statistics, how to have some information about normality testing, and then inferential statistics. So I'm going to just remove these guys as well. And your next section will be discussion. So I will later upload a video and tell you what needs to be included in a discussion section. But for now, I think this is more than enough. Now you know what needs to be done in a very simple results section, how to develop your results section, and how exactly you need to go forward from this. This is just some simple guidance, and you should improve this further. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or drop a comment down below, and I'll get back to you soon. So thank you very much.